everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 3 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find a list of the lesson. We're going to start with the chapter multiplication. The lessons we're going to cover today are multiply by a multiple of 10, multiplication patterns over increasing place values, multiply numbers ending in zeros, and multiplication word problems. So please make sure. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is multiply by a multiple of 10. So we're going to learn how do we multiply any number by 10. Let's just start with the lesson. Multiply by a multiple of 10. So basically, how do we multiply by 10? Basically, like 80 times 1. So that is simply 1. Whenever you multiply a number with 1, that is the number. 80 times 1 is 80. The correct option is 80. Got it? When you multiply any number with 1, the answer is exactly the same number. The next one is 8 times 10. Now you have to multiply it by the 10. First, you have to multiply like you just have 80 times 8 times, hold on, 8 times 10, right? So just multiply 8 times 1, right? 8 times 1 is 8 and you have to add a 0. So 8 times 8, 10 times 8 is 80. The correct option is 80. Got it? 10 times 8 is 80. The next one is multiply 7 times 50 is, so just multiply the non-zero numbers, right? You have 7 times 50. Just multiply the non-zero values. 7 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35 and you have a 0. So that would be 350. 50 times 7 is 350. Got it? The correct option is 350. The next one is 20 times 7, which is the correct option. 20 times 7 is, that is 140. The correct option is 140. The next one is 40 times 5, which is the correct option. That is 200. Very good. The correct option is, you just have to multiply the non-zero values, right? You have to do 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Then you have to add a 0. So that is 200. The correct option is 200. The next one is 80 times 7. So 80 times 7 is, yes, that is 560. The correct option is 560. next one is 20 times 3, which is the correct option. Yes, that is 60. The correct option is 60. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is multiplication patterns over increasing place values, right? So you have to see the patterns when you have the place values increasing, right? So let's just start with the first example. That is 3 times 6 equal the missing number. Then 3 times 60, 3 times 600, and 3 times 6000, right? So you can see here the place values are increasing. First you have just the ones, then you have tens, then you have hundreds, and then you have 1000, right? So you have to see how do we complete this pattern, right? So you have 6 times 3 times 6, that is 6 ones here, right? So 6 times 3 is 18, that means you have 18 ones. Got it? The correct option is 18 ones, right? Then you have 60 times 3. Here you have 6 tens. So you have 6 times 3, we know 18. You have to add a 0. So that means 18 tens you have. Here you have 18 tens. Then you have 600. So 6 times 3 is 18. You have 1800, right? Then you have 6000. 3 times 6 is 18. You have 18,000s, right? So when here the place values are increasing with the numbers, the place value is also increasing in the products, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, the first one is complete the pattern. You have to find the missing number. So which number is missing? 6 times what number is 12? 6 times what number is 120? 6 times what number is 1200? And 6 times what number is 12,000, right? So first look here. 6 times what number is 12? 6 times 2 is 12, right? Then you have 6 times what number is 120? 6 times 2 is 12, and you have it is a 0. That is 6 times 20 equals 120. Got it? Then yes, that is 6 times 200, and then 6 times 2000. You have to keep this in mind. The number of zeros over here and over here are exactly the same. Got it? So that is option number 1 is the correct option. Very good. Complete the pattern, which is the correct option. 5 times what number is 1? 50 times what number is 50? And 500 times what number is 500? Which is the correct option? You can see here you have 5 and 5 exactly same numbers. 50 times what number equals 50? 500 times what number is 500? So the correct option is that is 5 times 1 is 5, 50 times 1 is 50, 500 times 1 is 500, because 1 is the only number that when you multiply with any number, the number is exactly the same, right? 5 times 1 is 5, 50 times 1 is 50, 501 times 500, and 5001 times 5000 is 5000. So option number 2 is the correct option, right? So the correct option is option number 2. Complete the pattern, which is the correct option. That is 2 times 3 is 6. Yes, that is the second one. 2 times 3 is 6. 20 times 3 is 60. 200 times 3 is 600. And 2003 times 2000 times 3 is 6000. So the correct option is option number 2. That is the second one. Right? The correct option is the second one. The next one is complete the pattern. So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Option 1 or option 2? 3 times 6 is 3 times 6 is 3 times 6 is 18. So you have then 60 times 30. So 3 times 6 is 18. You need to add a 0. So that is 180. Then you have 600 times 3. So that would be 3 times 6 is 18 and you need to add two zeros. Then you have 6 times 3 is 18 and then you have three zeros. So the correct option is option number 2 is the correct option. That is 18, 180, 1800 and 18,000. The second one is the correct option. Got it? Option number 2 is the correct option. Complete the pattern. Which is the correct option? Option 1 or option 2? Which option is the correct one? Yes, very good. The correct option is option number 1. It would be 42, 420, 4200 and 42,000. Option number 1 is the correct option. Complete the pattern. Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? 1 times 1, 10 times 1, 100 times 1 and 1000 times 1. So which is the correct option? That is option number 1, right? That is 1, 10, 100 and 1000. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is the next one is multiply numbers ending in zeros. So we have just done with multiply a multiple of 10, right? That is exactly same. First you learn how do we multiply with 10. Now we're going to learn how do we multiply it with the numbers ending in zeros, right? So whenever you have the numbers that you have to multiply and they have the zeros, right? Simply you have to do just multiply the non-zero values. Just do here you have 600 times 3, right? So non-zero values are 3 times 6. So just do 3 times 6, that is 18. You have two zeros here. So that means you need to add two zeros at the right hand side of your number, right? So the correct option is 1800. Got it? The correct option is 1800. Option number 1 is the correct option. So whenever you have to multiply the numbers with the zeros, just multiply the non-zero values and then add the zeros you have with the multiples, right? Multiply 800 times 7, which is the correct option. 7 times 8 is you have to do 7 times 8, right? 7 times 8 is 56. You have two zeros, so just add two zeros. So option number 2 is the correct option. That is 5600. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is multiply 30 times 7 equal, which is the correct option. Very good. 7 times 3 is 21. You have one zero. So you need to add a zero at the right hand side. So that would be 210. Got it? 30 times 7 is 210. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is 400 times 3, which is the correct option. 40 times 400 times 3 equal. Yes, that would be 1200. The correct option is option number 2, 1200 it is. Got it? Multiply 30 times 4, which is the correct option. 4 times 3 is. Yes, that is 12. So the correct option is. Yes, that is 120. Very good. The correct option is 120. The next one is 50 times 8, which is the correct option. 8 times 5 is. Yes, that is 400. So 80 times 5 is 400. The next one is 20 times 6, which is the correct option. Very good. The correct option is 120. Got it? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is multiplication word problems. You can do the word problems on your own. We'll do multiplication, input output tables, file, find the rule. So we have already done the input output tables in with addition and subtraction, right? Basically, you have to identify the rule. The rule means what rule you apply on input to get the output value. Because here we are working on the multiplication, that means you need to multiply some number with the input value to get the output value, right? So you have to identify the number, which number is multiplying with the input value to get the output value. Got it? Just look at the example. What is the rule for this input output table, right? Just look at the input value, right? 0 0. Here you have 2, here you have 4. Here you have 4, here you have 8. You have to see 4 times what number equals, sorry, 2 times what number equals 4. 4 times what number equals 8, which is the correct option. 2 times what number is 4? 2 times what number equals 4? And 4 times what number equals 8, which is the correct option. Very good. That is 2 times 2 is 4 and 4 times 2 is 8. So the correct option is 2. That means the The rule for this table is multiply by 2. You have to multiply each input value by 2 to get the output value. Got it? You need to multiply each input value by 2 to get the output value given in the table. Got it? Let's just start with the practice questions. Okay, what is the rule for this input output table? Which is the correct option? Input values are 0 to 4 and output values are 0, 4, 8. Isn't it the same one we just did? Yes, that's the same we just did. So which is the rule? The input values are 0, 2 and 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 times 2 is 8. Right? So that means any number 0 times any number is 0. Right? So the input output, the rule for this table is multiply by 2. Priyan, it's okay. I've started a bit late. So that's why I need to cover the lesson. That would be 2. The input rule for this table is 2. What is the rule for the input output table? Which is the correct option? 1 times what number is 3? 2 times what number is 6? And 3 times what number is 9? So which is the rule for the table? Yes, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. That means the rule for this table is you have to multiply by 3. Got it? The rule for this table is 3. You need to multiply them by the 3 to get the, you need to multiply each input value by 3 to get the output value. Okay, the next one is what is the rule for this table? What is the rule for this input output table? Probably in 5 minutes. Don't worry, we'll end in 5 minutes. What is the rule for the input output table? Can you please focus on the lesson? 0 times what number is 0? 1 times what number is 2? And 4 times what number is 8? Which is the rule? The rule is you have to multiply them by the 2. The correct option is 2 because 1 times 2 is 2 and 4 times 2 is 8. So the the rule for this table is 2. The correct option is yes, it is 2. Very good. What is the rule for this input output table? The input values are 0, 1 and 3. The output values are 0, 3 and 9. Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? Yes, very good. The multiplication rule, you have to multiply each input value by 3 to get the output value. What is the rule for this input output table? Which is the correct option? Input values are 0, 1 and 2. Output values are 0, 3 and 6. Which is the correct option? Yes, very good. Again, the rule for this table is you have to multiply by 3. So the correct option is you have to multiply by 3. Okay, the next one is what is the rule for this input output table, which is the correct option? The input values are 0, 1 and 2 and the output values are 0, 2 and 4. So which is the correct option? Very good. The rule for this fact table is 2. You have to multiply the each input value by 2 to get the output value. Very good. What is the rule for this input output table, which is the correct option? You have to multiply, yes, you have to multiply each input value by 3 to get the output value. So option number 1 is the correct option. The rule is you have to multiply by 3. Very good. What is the input output table? What is the rule for this input output table, which is the correct option? The input values are 2, 3, 5 and the output values are 4, 6 and 10, which is the correct option. Yes, very good. Again, you have to multiply them by 2. The rule is you have to multiply them by 2. What is the rule for the input output table, which is the correct option? The input values are 0 to 5, the output values are 0, 4 and 10. Yes, again that is 2. Again the rule for this table is you have to multiply the each input value by 2 to get the output value. Very good. What is the rule for the input output table, which is the correct option? The input values are 0, 3, 5. The output values are 0, 6 and 10, which is the correct option. The correct option is you have to multiply them by 2. Very good. The correct option is 2. Okay, you can complete. We have done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 4, grade 3 math. The chapter we were working on is multiplication. The lessons we have covered today are multiply by a multiple of 10, multiplication patterns over increasing place value, multiply numbers ending in zeros and multiplication input output table, find the rule. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye everyone.